to make over a little Krabby Patty, right? Wrong!
What's up, faggots?
I wasn't ready for that.
Welcome to the Fantasy's Anime Club. I'm Mocha Fantasy.
I'm Jackie Gray.
And this is like the Fantasy Anime Club is like a book club. Why you look at me like that? We get together and we...
I love looking at your luscious, beautiful skin.
Hey, Abio's here, right on time.
Hey!
It's like a book club. If you didn't already guess, you didn't already know. If you're new, nobody's ever new here.
Nobody.
We know everybody, and everybody knows us.
We know them all.
It's like a book club. We go and watch your favorite animes, which suck all the time so much.
Damn.
Just saying. So yeah, we watch the animes you suggest, and we watch them episode by episode, and we all get together every Monday to discuss what we watch during the week, 5 episodes at a time, and we tell you what we thought about it. That's it.
Shit.
Well, Cowboy Bebop isn't too much shit.
It's not too bad.
But
the voice acting is... I mean, I get that it's dated, but it's going down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. The hype of such... I guess it was just the hype of something not ass class. And then it's like... Because we watched that...
Oh, yeah, because ass class was so bad. We were like, well, hope something
Finally.
good, finally!
And then...
And it is kind of
like,
boring.
Yeah.
It's not the worst anime we've ever seen. I'd say it's average. Although my ratings got pretty high on this week's episodes. So I'll tell you about that in a second.
Good stuff.
But I tell you, I felt feelings of fun, excitement. I felt feelings of laughter. I was enthralled with episode 12. And I felt fascinated and intrigued. I felt relaxed, at ease, and entertained by episode 14, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes.
And I felt okay, content, and very tired of that episode.
Was it actually called Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, it was.
Did it have the song?
No.
Bummer.
Bohemian Rhapsody's a thing, a type of thing.
See, I thought it was just a song. No. Stupid, dumb shit. Millennials like me don't know what the fuck is going on.
And yes, Abio, we got these shirts like a year ago. I made them with my bare hands.
He did. He crafted...
Hey, Abio, you shut yo fag mouth. Dude, ass class was retarded.
Ass class... Oh,
it was awful.
Don't even get me started, man. I was so done with every little and every single student was idiot. Stop. They're all just dumb.
I thought the art
could
was
never
pretty
be
good in that one.
The art was okay. It was good.
The story was
art.
Awful.
Terrible.
No character development.
Characters suck.
Do not watch Ass Class.
Do not.
Anybody on the archive.
You can if you want to. Free country. However, don't, because you will be bored.
The first 5, I was excited.
I don't understand.
I gave
it
it such a high score too.
You did. I watched it. I was like, stupid.
Well, all right. Unless you have anything to say. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask how's everyone?
How are you,
doing?
Abio? Because nobody else watches this.
It's just us today.
I hope you feel good.
We'll strip for you if you're the only one here by the end.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Oh yeah.
All right, so episode 11. Let's get these slides up and going of our enthralling experience through Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
I almost call it Robot something. I've seen that. Robot something.
That actually sounds cool. Robot Bebop.
Well, Abio's moving to Tokyo from Wako Oof. What the fuck did you just say?
Texas? I thought it was Texas.
Oh yeah, he was. Texas, Wako, Texas. Maybe there's a place called Wako in Texas.
I bet.
Why are you moving to Tokyo?
Waka,
That's a terrible place.
That is a very bad
You're not going to have a good time.
Kids are going to shit themselves on the street.
And wipe their butts with their hands.
And then want to hug you. Get the fuck away from me, little shit. I hate kids.
Dude, I hate kids too. But when a girl is like, "Oh, my baby's so cute," I'm like, "Yes, your child is so adorable."
When they do that to me, I'm like, "No, Where'd you raise that thing? A Cabbage Patch? You ugly F! Got it from you.
Got it from what? The baby got it from the mom?
Yes.
What?
And
No,
your
dude,
daddy.
if you want to get in the booty, you gotta be good with
I don't
kids.
want to get in the booty.
Because the women, they if like, okay, maybe it's not their child, but it's like their little cousin or their little brother, and they're
That's
like,
even
oh,
worse.
Well, I mean, no, because if you're like, oh, I hate kids, and they're like, oh no, now I can't pop one out. He's not gonna like it. So now you see, so you gotta be all like, yes, the kid's adorable, and you gotta be all over it.
The world is so fake.
Yes.
The world is a fake place who lies and tells you things that you want to hear, but aren't true.
That's lesson number 2 from Faye. Fool or be fooled.
Yes.
And we'll get into that as well, coming up in episode 11.
I'm glad that we have rubbed on that.
Alright, so episode 11 is called Toys in the Attic, and this is Motions that got the fun, excitement, and laughter. I thought it was the best episode of all the 15s that we watched.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the first one was still my favorite. Because the action in that was so profound. Then again, if I watched it again, I'd probably be bored, but it just going into it.
I think you were just blind at what
I do
was
need
coming.
glasses.
So, okay, so episode 11. The crew is scheming to scam people to get their money with gambling. They're doing that whole thing where you like throw the dice and you shake it up. You're like, oh, what's your number? And then it's like, oh, I bet you it's an odd.
I'm so retarded.
Even.
I didn't catch it when she moved her foot and it did eyes. I didn't.
Yeah, because only smart people catch it. She says it's part of the game. You have to catch where the cheat is. It's part of the game. But you're too stupid to notice. The camera even went to her ankle when she was doing it.
I know. I'm an idiot.
So Faye is so good at cheating that she gambles the clothes right off of Jet's body.
Body is bought right off that body. Don't you
And then
it?
what I thought was cool too is he learned lessons of life throughout the episode. And lesson number 1 from Jet, when we were looking for I think the goo was already
don't
coming
gamble
out.
with a hoe, because she's probably cheating on you, on her boyfriend, and on everyone else she comes in contact with.
Seaway. Yes. But Jet's lesson here is those who try to get rich quick or live at the expense of others all get divine retribution at some point in their lives. You don't sound at all. You didn't soak that in at all. Did I read it too fast?
Yeah. You might need to slow down for us specials out there.
Those who try to get rich or get rich off the expense of others will face retribution at some point in their lives.
So,
I learned that the hard way. That's why I'm depressed. But moving on to Faye's lesson number 2, which is my favorite lesson. She said, to fool and to be fooled is the reason we live. Nothing good happens when you trust anyone. Now that you can take home to the bank. Abio's right, too.
yep, don't make friends.
Don't make friends, don't trust anyone. That's what I learned, man. You trust somebody, you're going to get fucked up the ass, and not in the good way.
No. I was going to say I don't think there is a good way to that, but then I thought of all the porn out there.
What?
Because there are people that like that. Right?
Well, yeah, but not
Yes.
in the good way, though.
You would know, you gay little faggot.
I would. And so would you, my good, voluptuous, white chocolate schmore. We know the chocolate's on the inside, though.
White chocolate's more. That's too much white.
So, okay, now the rodent problem happens in the Bebop ship, and it looks like it's a fucking rat running around, but it's not.
I thought it
It's
was.
a goo blob.
I was kind of disappointed, to be honest. I was hoping it would look more.
Dude.
I'm so sorry. I thought it would be more like a mouth-formed rat hybrid thing.
I mean, it looked like a rat when it first bit Jet, and it ran behind the fridge, and everyone's like, "Oh, just a rat, you little pussy." And he was like, "Fuck you, bitch." But it turned out it wasn't. It was goo.
It was
was like a-
purple goo.
It was a
Black.
morphed. We'll get into what it was actually, but it was just a black goo of just nastiness coming around to just destroy
It kind of
everybody.
looked like my soul.
Very accurate. Very accurate indeed.
Yes.
So Jet gets bit and he gets sick. Now Faye and Spike try to identify the type of virus that gets infected into Jet, but they can't find it. And he just passes out. You know, that happens. And then Faye was bitten. She goes all fainting couch on us.
She's
and
so
is like, oh my god! And she falls over and is retarded.
Very retarded.
I mean, she's very overdramatic, though, I feel like.
Definitely.
Faye.
She's such a waste of space.
I agree. I don't like her. And then
I don't
episode
like her.
15 was all about her background. We learned so much about Faye, and now I hate her even more.
Really?
Because of her background, yes. Faye is a bitch.
I bet.
How Goo bite also it was black. Dude, Abio, your grammar is really atrocious.
What are you, 5?
At the moment? Probably is.
Just like us.
No, didn't Abio say it was like 20? I don't know.
No, he did. He said he was 20. That means that's just confirming that he's probably like 14.
Lesson 3, which is the best lesson if you're retarded, is if you see a stranger, follow him
into the corners.
And that's what Ed suggests us to do.
The lesson?
Dude, you know, I was just thinking the other day.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Stupid. Wait, what? Didn't get what? Follow strangers?
Follow them.
If you meet a stranger, follow them.
Why?
Because you never know what's going to happen.
They could, yes.
It's a surprise. It's a mystery.
Surprise butt sex, that's what that is.
Oh, that reminded me, though, the Stranger thing is how, like,
Stranger
see,
Things
back,
is a
back,
good show.
Season 1 was better.
It was.
See, back in the old days, my good friend, when you wanted to get to know a woman, you just approach a stranger and you just start talking to her, and then it's like, all right, didn't we have a conversation? But that doesn't happen nowadays at all.
You can't approach anyone today.
It's the safest it's ever been.
Because nobody talks to each other.
I mean, imagine back in like the 80s when well, 70s are most promiscuous, but like the 80s was all about like the macho dude and like, hey girl, what's up? You know,
70s, everyone was like banging in the bush everywhere.
Yeah, no, but imagine back then, no cell phones, no like you could just be at a bar and you're talking to a stranger and he says, hey, let's go out back, baby, and you're like, oh my goodness, what a man, and then he takes you and then you're just gone. No way to be found.
Damn.
But nowadays, at least you have like phones and GPS and shit, and all that stuff.
And anti-socialism.
Anti-socialism? What, you mean like being antisocial or
Yeah.
like anti-fascist, anti-socialism?
Both. Preferably the first one. But I mean, if you're not into socialism, then don't do it, you dumb shit.
Oh look, Lily's depressed. I'm so
sad. I'm here.
Wow,
for you.
what a dick. What a couple of dicks. I'm sorry, but not really.
It's okay. We're all depressed here. So
yeah, you know, you're in good company.
Maybe all of our bad vibes will just so. I read that comment too.
Wait, hold on. Lily says it's just my headphones or their mics all fricked. See, I told you we couldn't have the fan on.
Is it on?
Yeah, the fan is on.
Just deal with it. Deal with it.
Turn off the fan. Dude.
Deal with it.
We're gonna have to turn on the fan. Turn it off.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to do it. I was looking at
That didn't have
audio.
to be.
I was making sure. All right, how's that sound?
I just wanted to be
Is
a
this
good
better?
white boy. Is that any better?
Lily says my depression is hecka bad today. I'm gonna fall down and like die.
You can
I'm gonna
relate.
fall down and like die. I could just die.
Just die. Honestly, I'm already dead on the inside.
That's the most fascinating thing I've heard all day.
Tell you what, once you die on the inside.
Tell you what.
Once you die on the inside, you don't have to care about any emotion ever. So you don't get depressed as easily. You're just kind of goofy and like having a good time. But you don't feel anything, so it's okay. You literally don't care. And it's okay. Better than being depressed. That's what I did.
Sound. I died inside a long time ago. but I still have it's called
Postpartum depression. Just kidding.
it's a cyclical depression is what I have. That's
Cyclical.
fun. I'm telling you, man. That's
Cyclical?
a good time. Yeah, cyclical depression.
Would you care to philosophy hour?
I
like
would love to.
Into
Cyclical depression is when you get depressed on a cycle. And that's what that is.
that is so not as interesting as I had hoped.
Wait, what is weird and echo? Okay, wait. What did you name your child? I don't know, but it's 2018, so if your depression is self-conditioned, if the doctor didn't say it, you're just fine.
See, I feel like you don't need to have someone else tell you what you are and what you feel. If I'm depressed, I'm fucking depressed. I'm not worried about like, oh, you have clinical depression. Like, no shit, that's why I'm here. Like, what the hell do you think I'm here for?
That's true. Abio does have a point. I mean, I am half joking, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It feels like depression. I mean, if I had to guess.
It's like, I don't know, man. I don't even know if it's a condition. I don't know. I could also be an ignorant fuck.
Yeah, we could all just be spoiled brats who were spoiled by our parents, and we've lived such a wonderful life that we
don't really know what it's like. And
also the generation before us did a terrible, not like 2 generations ago, because our parents did a terrible job at raising us. I'll tell you that.
Definitely did.
The parents from the 80s, oh my god,
they were too busy.
Awful.
Yeah, they were too busy being macho and playing video games in the local arcade and dancing around.
No, you know what it was? It was those women in those power suits, those power shoulder suits, man. Going off, getting their degrees and going off to college and
those
following their
videos.
careers.
Those music videos with your Bon Jovis and
all those kids going into daycare, being raised by daycare professionals. That's what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
That is what happened.
Parents in the 90s were bad too.
Yeah, that was the religious right decade.
80s and 90s.
Not the 80s. The 80s
Kinda.
was more like the fight against drugs. And that spilled into the 90s a little bit, which I guess the 80s and 90s was
and then
like
it kind of evolved into the... No, it was 70s... No, 80s.
Maybe 80s was gun violence, and the 90s
80s was gun violence.
The 90s was the drugs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then the 70s was all about the sex and the unprotected sex.
That's why we have so many fuckos today.
Dude, the people in the 70s fucked everything up. I swear, those commies, Red Scare. Dude, I'm not gonna get into no conspiracies or nothing, but I am convinced all that Red Scare stuff from the 50s, where everyone thought there was a communist in every corner, I think that really happened. I think there was really communists all over the place.
Woo! Woo! Wow! Those waffle and chicken.
Right?
Woo!
Those
tamales.
jalapenos.
Yes. Anyways,
some good shit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm convinced there was a communist in every corner, and that's why we're so fucked up today. That's what I believe.
I would love to research this further.
Yeah, I have
philosophies.
I just have some hearsay. I don't have actual facts. It's just my opinion, and I just heard from hearsay from people I trust, but that doesn't mean shit because I don't know where their facts come from. So that's all that is. Then shush, Lily.
Wait, hold on. Let's go read this. I am also kind of violent. I'm not violent today. I'm just kind of hyperactive.
I'm always violent on the inside. The things that I do to you in my mind, you wouldn't even imagine. So after Dougie,
I am scared for my life.
Spike finds the alien in the little shaft. And they go face to face. He goes face to face with the goo. And they start going at it. He's like, with the gun. It was really cool. I'm just saying.
It felt kind of like The Thing. The original
movie. I felt it felt like more like Alien.
That too.
Because it was in a spaceship.
It was like The Thing meets Alien.
But I don't know. The Thing morphs, though. At least the alien and the goo was black. So, you know. It's like the same thing. And it was in a spaceship. More similarities on the alien side of things than on the
I would love some gloob.
gloob.
I can make some gloob.
Gloob. That sounds awful. You get stuck inside the pussy. Not all bad though.
Just, you can't pull out.
So remember, okay, so what's this? Oh, okay. So when he encounters the goo, right? And then when he like runs from it, he remembers, and he's like, all of a sudden I remember something, and he's like, that fridge in the cargo bay, and he was like, I put a lobster in there a year ago, and I forgot all about it. This mic is really close.
It is very, very yes. That could also be a problem.
Oh, that's true.
Tell you what.
Tell you.
Stupid. Did is he saying that the lobster is that what it was? The lobster?
It was. No. That one was a bean casserole or bean roll or something.
The goo?
The goo was a bean roll. Yeah.
What the hell?
But the lobster just infested everything.
Alright.
Violet Evergarden is the next Afterthoughts, and we're gonna be filming that tonight.
Yes.
So it'll be up on Wednesday. It'll be up on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that.
Violet
you know what might be an
Evergarden is
idea
so
to
good.
do? Maybe while we watch Violet Evergarden, maybe we could live stream on Instagram or YouTube. We can do that too.
Either one.
Right after we binge watch a chunk of episodes. No set amount. Binge watch a chunk of episodes, and then we can live stream our afterthoughts right after it, and then put an official afterthoughts out later. Maybe we
That
can do
would be really good. Like go live and then archive it.
There should be more of a reaction. I'm trying to bring reactions back without having them being so heavily edited. I guess we could just film ourselves watching it, but then that'd be so boring to just
That would
live
be
stream of
so
watching
boring. That would be
There's
so
like no
good.
way around.
I wouldn't say a thing. If it's a good anime. If it's a boring anime, I'm gonna be like in the back. What the fuck, Abby?
I was trying to stay focused, but I saw that, and it was hard to deal with.
Come here. Come here, you big, beautiful black man.
Let's see. So, dramatic music played. What was it? Oh.
Tell you what, it's bringing in the views on Mocha. What is it? Watermelon grape juice.
Oh, yeah. That's where that stuff stays. What happens... what happens there stays there.
Don't want to get no cross-contamination going on.
No. Oh, look at those titties.
Dude, that was so... I was so confused when they showed that. I was like...
I thought there was someone else in the shower altogether.
I'm very disappointed.
And I wasn't even sure if I could show those titties, because those aren't really boobs. Those are man nipples. But they just are enlarged.
Because he was taking... He was given the
drugs.
Hormones. Yeah.
So I didn't know what to, think of that.
I'm confused. Because he had a dick, right?
Yeah. He was intersex or something like that.
That was so weird. They shouldn't have done that.
So the dramatic music plays, and that's when he said he forgot about it. And he says, I wonder what it looks like now. And as he opens the fridge, it has all these gooey webs and
strings
nastiness.
And
yeah.
And stuff.
He's
he's opening, he's like,
oh. It was kind of like that scene from Daddy Daycare, and when he opened the door to the poop in the bathroom, and he was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That movie is so good.
So lesson 4 from Spike is you shouldn't leave things in the fridge.
No. Hey, it's Russell.
Russell's here. I'm here, and party can really get started. We've been waiting for you the whole time, man. We didn't even
start. We didn't start.
You know what would really make this channel good is we need to set a date for that 12-hour special. That 12-hour live stream. Live. And we need to start setting it up. After...
It needs to be somewhere cold. We are not doing it here.
We're in Southern California. I don't think... There's nowhere cold.
Indoors, you dumb fuck.
That took you a second.
I don't know who's the dumb fuck.
Well, we
now.
are indoors.
But it's hot in here.
Yeah, well. We'll figure it out. That's what we need to do. We need to figure out, after this stream, we need to record afterthoughts, and we need to discuss when and how we're going to do the live stream. And where.
We should do it at one of the preserves.
At night?
In the day. On the mountain.
Where it's hot and it's 110 degrees?
It could be our death confession video. I know y'all would like that.
So, the alien goo floats up to the boy Ed, and then Ed sees it, and he grabs it and eats it, and he's like, a bean roll. That's what it is, dude. It's a bean roll.
Oh,
That's what he said it was.
Said that.
Well, I mean,
Idiot.
he knows what, because he
No,
ate
it's
it.
she, isn't it?
No, Ed's a dude. He's a gay dude. Well, people said he was gay, but he might not have been. I don't know.
Fucking Spike in the English, he's like she.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's a dude.
Yes.
His name is Edwin.
Edwine. Edwina. Ed's wiener.
Now you just went full circle on that one.
I did.
So what they do to fix the problem, or at least to send it off, is Spike takes the fridge and he shoves it out of the airlock, and then it spins through space with all of its nasty debris spiraling off of it.
It looked cool.
It looked cool, but it was disgusting.
Yeah.
Lily says, my friends and I watched Daddy Daycare and missed the bus back when I was a kid. We ended up skipping school just to watch Daddy Daycare.
That's a good story. Skip school, watch Daddy Daycare.
Everyone skips school. You'll be smarter for it.
Daddy Gay Care.
Anyway, episode 12. Let me just restart these slides so I can get them back behind us again.
Mm.
So, episode 12 was Jupiter Jazz. I felt excited, enthralled,
so weird.
and contemplative.
Jupiter Jazz.
Jupiter Jazz.
Jupiter. Why? You ever get that thing
Jazz.
where like you say a word long enough, it just keeps sounding more and more weird?
Mhm.
Jupiter.
Mhm.
Jupiter.
Like James E. Smart. James E. Smart. It doesn't sound right. I don't know.
You know what? Tell you what.
I don't know what hiatus is. You want to do hiatus? Is that a site that I can upload stuff to?
Think about it.
I don't know.
You want to do hiatus. I thought a hiatus was like you taking your own opinion about something and saying it back.
No, a hiatus is like leave. You leave. I'm taking a hiatus. I'm out of here. I'm gone. You'll never see me around again.
Yes.
That's a hiatus.
That is exactly what we're going to do once we go to the top of the mountain.
So, in episode 12, Faye dipped for the entire episode. She was gone. And then, but on top of that, not only did she leave, but she took the antifreeze, and she took all the money in the safe. And just
That
booked
was
it.
so annoying. She's so stupid.
And then we
I don't
found
like
out, see, I don't get exactly what Faye was doing on the planet, but they end up back with her like she was entangled in the fight, in the story somehow. But she was with Julia, who was Spike's girl
Being
that
an
raised him
idiot.
from the dead, basically. Oh, gosh. And so Spike becomes obsessed with finding Julia, and then Jet's like, no, bro, don't do it. She's a bad bitch. You don't want to take none of that shit. And he was like, but she got the booty. And then Jet's like, no, don't go after the booty. It's not worth it.
He's like, no, she doesn't.
And so Spike goes down to the planet. And then I think Jet said, like, if you do this, you're not allowed back on the ship. But he redeemed himself because he was looking for Julia, who was interacting with Gren.
What?
Yeah, Gren. And so Gren had a bounty, so he ran into Gren, and then Gren was like, had a bounty. And so Jet said, if you bring Gren back, you're allowed back on the ship. But Gren ended up dying. And he killed Vicious, I think. No, he didn't kill Vicious. He just blew up his ship, so it spiraled out of control, and we never saw him. We never saw if he
He's
survived.
probably still alive.
But yeah, he's like the main villain of the story.
Yeah.
Abio says you just get the core video and put it on Google Drive. Make a video and put the Google Drive link in the description. Type Hyam hiatus. Hiatus. It's like Japanese. For
What?
reference and example.
What is he talking about?
He's saying, I think that's what Lee does. You put a video on Google Drive and then you put the link in the YouTube video. And then they just follow it out. Which, I was gonna say is not the greatest idea for certain reasons. However, it's not like our channel's blowing up anyway.
No.
So
Not
you
at
know it's not gonna help or hurt us at this point. But Spike is confused for Vicious when he's on the planet looking for Julia. Gets pissed, lays a whoop on all the enemies.
Yes.
And then it switches back to Faye. She's drunk. She goes hang out with Gren. Okay, so I'm forgetting why
Gren's
Gren
the
even...
man boob?
Yeah, Gren is the intersex dude. And I don't understand because he saves Faye just because I get... Oh, you know what it is? It's because the planet doesn't have a lot of beautiful women on it. So whenever there's a beautiful women, all the men want a piece of that booty. And so Gren saves her life of a bunch of rapies. And he takes her back to his place and she's drunk. She starts asking some crazy questions.
Like wanna fuck?
Yeah. And he takes a shower. Well, he offered her a shower, but she said no. And then he goes to take a shower. But I thought this was interesting. One thing she said, she says, she tells him that she doesn't want any partners because she can live longer alone, as opposed to saying humans can't live alone. And I would love to meet a girl who actually held that belief that it's preferable to be by yourself.
Right.
I would love to meet a girl and talk to her and find out and just hear why she thinks that.
I don't know if that's entirely...
Because that's not a thing.
Yeah, I don't think that exists. Guys, for sure.
Goodbye, Abio.
Fuck off. I don't believe... I don't know. I mean, you prefer to be alone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Alone to masturbate. Yeah. Lonesome is pretty good. If you could live in a cabin in the woods, would you not? I would.
I would, yeah.
By myself.
Absolutely. Alone is
I would
better.
probably die out there. But yes, I would do it.
But yeah, moving on. So basically... It's getting hot in here, dude.
You get fatigued?
I am so fatigued, you have no idea. Okay. I need to regroup myself.
This would be a good idea.
I'm starting to sweat, too. Fuck me.
Oh my god, I'm okay. I've been in the temperature for a long time.
She says, instead of feeling alone in a group, it's better to be alone in your solitude.
That's true.
I always feel alone in a group, man. Although sometimes it's by choice.
Really?
Yeah. I prefer to... I prefer... See, when I like to hang out with people, I prefer to sit from the outside and watch them interact with each other because I find that way more fun and fascinating to just see how people interact and the stupid things they say and the other person saying stupid things. Or like if someone says something and then they look away and then I notice the other person like has a look of disgust on their face, but the first person thought it was awesome and okay and like funny, but then the second person is like offended by it. I'm just like, you're stupid.
To which one?
To the one who thinks they're funny or something like that, you know? That's what I find entertaining.
Never was a fan of the class clown. Kind of a dip. Kind of an idiot.
That's funny because that's you. That's so fascinating.
Don't you psychoanalyze me right now.
You are the class clown.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Just repeat what you just said a class clown was. That's
Hey, shut them. You know, until you... Yeah. I'm not gonna...
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's exactly you. The fuck?
Someone's contacting me.
I was never a class clown. I was more like the person that would I was like that bully that'd be behind you pulling your hair. That's what I was.
Damn.
Got me the booty though, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Yeah. I remember the girlfriend that I was with the longest in high school. I remember, I mean, we were like really good friends to begin with, but all I'd ever do was tease her. I remember I used to tie her shoelaces to the table in biology. And then when the bell would ring, I would just leave. And no, but like, because she liked putting her legs on, like resting her legs on my knees, you know, like reclining back.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, that's a little bit of flirt right there, and I knew it. But I didn't like her in that way, and so what I would do is I would tease her a lot, and so I was sick of it. I was like, okay, you're putting your... So what I would do is I would tie her shoe to the leg on the opposite side of the table, so her leg was like stretched out forward, and that's when I would get up and leave. And then she'd have to... I don't know what she did.
Because I was gone.
Yes.
Wow.
But I'd say acting like that got the booty though.
I
And
bet.
then I turned into, and then I was like, shit, I'm so bad to women. I need to change because I've been disrespecting and mistreating women my whole life, and I turned into a good guy, and then the pussy dried up. And then I was like, well, fuck. I can't be a dick anymore, but can't be a nice guy anymore because that doesn't get booty either, and that takes a lot of effort. So
What are you now?
now I'm a dick to everyone because all I care about is me. Because me is the only person I can rely on, and me is the only person that I can make laugh, and I am the only person that I know will not leave me for being a dick. So, you know, it's all around good stuff. And I know that me is the only person I can help. Like, truly help. Because I only know what I want. I don't know what other people want. Truly want. Because they lie. So, only I can't lie to myself. So
You can lie to yourself.
You can try. That's how you be a pathological liar. I used to do that all the time, too. As long as you can trick yourself into believing the lie, then it's easy to lie.
Definitely. This is true.
That's why you can catch a bad liar and a good one. A bad liar knows it's a lie. A good liar believes it's the truth. So they're much harder to catch.
This is true.
Lily says we were all fucking anxious to deal with the attention. What does that mean?
What?
We were all fucking anxious to deal with the attention.
Oh. She didn't have any class clowns. That's a kind of a good thing, I guess. I don't know.
That's a bad thing. You need a class clown.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Because then he gets in trouble and no one else does. You know what your limit is. You know you can goof around just enough, but not more than the class clown. You know, and then you'll never be punished for it.
This is true.
So, continuing with how the story unfolds. Looking for what is this? Oh, the saxophone dude turns out to be Gren, which is the guy that Spike was looking for, but Faye just happened to turn out with him.
Yep.
And then later on, Lynn shoots Spike to protect Vicious, but it turns out that Lynn only had a tranquilizer dart. So he didn't have an actual gun.
That's disappointing.
So he just knocks him out. Yeah.
He's gonna kill someone. Do it right.
I know, right? That was kind of weird. I guess they knew each other, like, because they fought together. Not on Titan, but somewhere they fought together.
Wow.
And I think that's why they all had like a bond or whatever.
I see.
But that episode was interesting for sure.
It was very interesting. I was so confused at the end because like it was
a two-parter.
It was a two-parter, and I was so confused because he was a girl thing, and then they shot
a girl thing.
They shot what's fucking Spike. And I didn't know if they were gonna fuck or not. And
that would have been a lovely scene.
Oh my god.
That would have been a good time.
That really would have. But somebody Didn't want it.
Oh, I've never been so offended before in my life.
Really?
Us? Boring?
No.
Damn.
It's not the anime or anything that's boring. Definitely could not be that whatsoever.
Who suggested Cowboy Bebop anyway? Someone did. They were a premium member too.
And
They had that white privilege.
That's why we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, that's why that's gone.
Yeah.
Alright, man. Episode 13, don't worry. There's not after we get through these stories, there's not much in the other sections, so
We'll stop boring you.
so you can get on with your exciting daily. So basically, episode 13, I think has the best, has some of the best story of them all. I think actually.
Really? I could kind of second that.
Episode 13. So we find out that Vicious and Gren fought together on Titan together.
Yeah.
And then when Gren returned from the war, he was being boozled by Vicious and was outed as a spy, which he never was. And he was in prison. He got insomnia. Then he got addicted to drugs, which gave him titties.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
Oh, yeah, man.
I hate it when I'm just having a good time taking my drugs and then I just pop out a pair of titties. It just sucks.
I find it interesting, though, that we got a little flashback from Spike when he was knocked out and he was tranquilized. And he got some flashback. We still don't know what they mean, though. But it's little pieces of the puzzle to put it together.
He can see the future, right? Or no, he sees the past?
Well, yeah, that's true. There was this thing going around that his eyes are different colors, which they're not.
No.
It's funny because they stared in his eyes. They're like, they said your eyes were two different colors. I see. And it zoomed down on his eyes, and they're both brown. I was like, what does this even mean?
One's black and one's brown.
Maybe that's what it is.
Oh.
But he can see the future with one eye.
That detail is so minimalistic and unimportant.
Wow, that was really dark, Lily. After this, I sleep and hopefully choke on my own tongue.
That's possible, right?
I didn't know it was.
Is it?
I don't know. Sometimes I wake up choking on my own saliva. That's kind of gross.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's gross.
That happens more than you think. It's very scary. I just wake up and I'm like choking and I'm like, what's in my throat?
Hell? My bad.
Ah! So then Faye asks the wrong questions, which gets her tied up. Delicious. And then so Gren or Lynn is killed by Gren later on when they go out.
No.
They were trading these like drugs or whatever, because I guess Gren was buying the drugs he needs for insomnia off of Vicious, but then he got two-timed, and then Gren like kicked the box back, which blew up on Vicious, and then he jumped into his fighter jet, and then Gren killed Lynn because he was protecting Vicious, and then Gren jumped into his ship, and then Spike was, well, fuck all you guys, so he jumps in his ship, and they all go up to the sky, and they have an awesome dogfight, which was amazing animation. Like, this genre gives you everything you could want in this genre. You got your high-tech space stuff, you got your ships, you got your space, you got your hyperspace, you got your cities that are like old but they're new. And you get dogfights in the sky, and the technology is so good. The art's amazing.
Dogfights are one of my favorite things on the planet.
Yeah. And so basically there's this little music box that Vicious had gave to Gren to spy on him after the war, but then Gren turned it into a bomb, and he gave it back to Vicious, which he put in his cargo bay, which blew up his ship. But not before Gren got shot down.
What?
And the round went through the ship and through him.
That must have looked visually amazing.
No, it wasn't. I didn't even know it was until he was dying. And then maybe he just got hurt from the crash. That's how I interpreted it. It would have been way cooler.
I
guess he would have exploded, though. He wouldn't even be alive.
Yeah, he probably really would have blown up.
Yeah, but so then Gren asks Spike. He's like, "Please send me to Titan, please," because he wants to die on Titan. And so then
Oh.
Spike hitches his glider and it sends him off to the direction of Titan, and he lands on Titan. And he's this falling star, and then this old Indian dude's like look, it's the tear of a warrior.
Yeah. That was cool.
I enjoyed that very much.
That was really cool.
Because
it really was.
Let's get through episode 14 and 15 real quick.
Oh yeah.
That shouldn't be too long at all. So episode 14 wasn't that special. I felt relaxed, at ease, but I did feel entertained. It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything great.
Okay.
But so they're going after this one dude, this mastermind, and Faye suggests that they should split. They should split the wager. Split the bounty, because they both were going after the same dude, but they thought it was a good idea to go against each other and challenge each other. It'd be better. It'd be good for building morale for the team. But then Faye was like, well, we all have a piece of the puzzle, so why don't we just share our information so we get to the bounty quicker, and then we just split the pot. And then they were like, no.
What?
So a mastermind, what he ended up doing was he was on the team that built those hypergates.
Yeah.
And the hypergates malfunctioned with him, and so they booted him out of the team to get revenge on the hypergates. He set up a master plan which was to have a heist on the hypergates. And what they did was they went in there and they hacked it. And so when people go in to pay the toll, it'll take all their money on their credit account.
Damn.
So it wipes the person clean. And then the money automatically gets sent to like offshore accounts and like gets washed and laundered.
Wow.
So you have no way of tracing it. And it was just gone.
That sucks.
And they got away with it.
That sucks, man.
And so what had happened was they hunted this mastermind down, right? They finally get to where he's located, and the place looks like a hippie commune. All these hippies be like, "What's up, man?
Man.
And they finally get to him, bro. And the mastermind is like giggling. Well, I guess
That's why he's a mastermind.
I missed this point because Ed found one of these chess pieces that was off one of the guys who did the heist. And he plugged it into the computer, and he was able to play chess with the mastermind. And so he was playing chess, and so it kept cutting to the mastermind, and he kept like moving the pieces and like going like, like giggling and stuff. They finally get to him, and he's like in a room giggling and stuff, and he turns out to be a senile old man. And what had happened was he completely forgot about the heist because he's retarded now. But what he did was he set a plan in place 50 years ago that would get triggered at this point in time, and it was automatically set up to do the whole heist. Automatically get the people and give them directions and set up everything. But since it was 50 years ago, he grew senile and he forgot about the whole thing.
That sucks.
So the bounty doesn't even count. I feel like every episode they don't get the bounty. Yeah, I don't understand how they're surviving because they never get
realize that. That sucks. And then Faye winds up stealing all the money anyway. Stupid bitch.
She's a woman. So episode 15, My Funny Valentine.
I know you didn't like it.
You know, it tired me out. I was kind of bored, to be honest with you.
Really?
Not gonna lie. Yeah, I was.
Wow.
But at least we get a background on Faye, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, for Cowboy Bebop and everything. My first thought was, who was the girl in the tank? Because it showed like this girl in the tank. But it turns out it's Faye. And then I was like, does everybody come from a science lab in this show?
Did she?
Yeah, she was in a tank, and it was a doctor's lab, and she's defrosting. And it's like everybody's came from the hospital or from the operating table, or because now the next we're gonna see Jet. He's not a human. He's a cyborg, and that's why his arm looks like a robot. He was built in a lab or something. Everybody was.
Oh my gosh.
So it turns out Faye is almost 100 years old. From the very beginning, they were like, "Oh, is this you? Because that would make you 100-something years old." She is actually that old. So that was cool. Foreshadowing for episode 3.
That is really cool.
Almost 12 episodes later. And also, I did the math, and Faye's our age. Because she's 20 years old. And when she got severely injured, they cryogenically froze her for 50-some years. And right now, it's the year 2071.
Right.
So 50 years ago, that would put her at 2020. And she'd be 20 around that age.
Huh.
And it's 2018. So she's our age. So that's kind of cool. This anime came out in the 90s, though, but now, 20 years later, wow, this anime's almost 20 years old. It is 20 years old.
Oh, shit.
Damn, this thing's 20 years old.
I feel old.
Wow. It's an old-ass anime, dude.
Yeah,
no,
98.
Old anime.
98.
Whenever I think of the 90s, I'm like, oh, this is a few years ago.
I feel the same way about like 2006, 2007, 2011. 2005 feels like a long time ago.
2007 was the best year of my life.
I could agree with that.
2006 and 7 I don't even know what to say. Those were the best years of my life.
06, 07.
Around that time. 2005, Halo 3 came out.
Through around 2015, I want to say. The golden years.
2015?
Yeah.
For you.
For me. Everything after that was just...
Everything after Obama got elected, my life went to shit.
He tried to help the blacks, but he only destroyed them.
You were to bring balance to the force. Or what was it? Bring balance something? Not join them.
them.
Destroy the Sith, not join them.
Yeah. Oh, Faye.
But anyway, this guy named Whitney was her lawyer. And so then her lawyer, Whitney, fell in love with her, took her out on dates because she didn't know who she was, and she had no money, and she had outstanding debt, yada, yada, yada. Took her out on dates, fell in love with her. She fell in love with him, kind of. And
she probably wanted him for his money and his dick.
Nice call, because he was handsome. And he supposedly had a lot of money. He's a lawyer. And so then what had happened is because he fell in love with her, the collecting agency came to get her.
Ugh.
And he kicked her out of the car in the forest when they couldn't see it. Then he drove off, and they blew up the car. And so he died. And what had happened was the doctor told Faye that he transferred all of his assets to her. Like, he wrote in his will.
Whoa.
And I was like, you bitch, you gold digger. But then the funniest thing happened. When the account came up, he actually had debt. And so by doing that, he transferred all of his debt to her on top of what she already had. And I was like, yeah.
Damn.
So that was hilarious. And that's why she ran away, and she's an outcast now. It's because she's in debt. And in the episode that she first showed up in episode 3, she even said that she had debt.
She's so instead of trying to pay off the debt, she'll gamble it.
That's true, because she's so deep in debt. That's the scary thing about debt. Once you get like to this point of no return, it's like you just give up, and you're just like, well, I'll just keep racking up debt then. It's like, I'm never going to pay it off. Damn. Never go into debt, guys, even for college.
Don't do it. Don't.
If you have to go into debt for college, it's not worth it.
This is true.
I would even say, even if you get a career where you can pay it back, because
you'll be paying it back for like the next 10 years.
10, 15, 20 years at least. Then that means you're going to be in debt for that long.
And then that on top of a house and a car and a family.
You might as well just
die. But that's just an opinion. Because everyone's opinion matters. Isn't that right, SJWs? Except everyone matters except the ones they don't agree with. Right?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. You okay?
No. I'm good. Anyways.
Tolerance.
Yes.
So then what had happened was, that explains why Faye's such a non-caring, freeloading little bitch.
That is exactly true. I didn't even think about that.
Lily says her uncle is a lawyer and just got out of debt from college, and he's like 40.
However, if he went to college around like what, 18, 20, that took him about 20, 22 years to get out of debt.
18, 20? Oh, his age.
His age, yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
That sucks. Real estate, stock market, investments.
That's a good way to go, because you can do that with little money. And I'd rather I'd rather risk thousands of dollars in the stock market than tens of thousands
Then
of dollars.
spend it and have it be gone on a family. I'm just.
I'm being
just
reasonable.
I'm just.
But you right though.
kidding.
You right.
I want a family.
Yeah, you do want a family. You thirsty little hoe.
I do.
You little pussy little bitch.
Wow.
Oh, you're such this cold, callous person. You claim you don't have any love in your life, but you want little baby Jameses running around. Little tiny little Jameses.
Not as much as my boo does.
Your boo? Your girlfriend?
Yeah.
I'm sure she does. Before she dies. Of course she does. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Not to sound sexist in any way. I mean, I'm just saying. Naturally.
But it kills. You want a little black boy running
Dude,
around?
I would not mind having a little Tim running around this world. But
that would be so amusing to see a smaller one of you run around like fuck shit.
But there's so many problems that come with that because a woman has to be involved.
Only until they hit a certain age.
Yeah, 18 years. I don't want that shit, but he needs a mom.
Does.
As much as he needs a daddy.
Unless you have a girl. Because then it would be a daddy.
Maybe I can pay someone to be his mom. But then is that true love? I don't know.
That,
See, if
you have to pay them to be the mom, I don't think there's any love involved.
That's called marriage. That's what that is.
Damn. Alright. You could just be gay. Don't you look at me with those lusting, longing eyes. His heavy eyes just ready to have consensual gay sex right here and now.
Don't talk to me with those lusting lips. No, Lily. Well, it takes effort to be a single parent, absolutely, but a child is much better off with two parents, a father and a mother. Why that take me a second to think of the word?
Wait, what?
Single dads are amazing because just as amazing as a single mother as in terms of the effort that has to go into it, but if he's such a great dad, why is he single? Unless his wife died. Now that's something you can't control. But if he married a terrible woman or got a terrible woman pregnant and she left, is he really such a great dad if he had made such a terrible choice in a mate? I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know, because having a kid changes you. Maybe when the kid was born,
it does change you with those pesky chemicals in the brain that change your emotions and your behaviors without your permission.
This is also true. And yet I do it on the daily.
Well, a single dad should not adopt. Neither should a single mother. Because that also is, maybe it's better than foster,
just a
though.
lot.
That's better than being a foster child, though. I'll give it that. I'd rather than be adopted into a single parent household. But that single parent should be mature enough to at least have someone help them, even if it's not an actual.
Because that's like a lot. You got to provide for yourself, and you got to provide for your kid, and you're not gonna be there. Like, I mean, at least when there's a husband and a mom, then the dad goes to work and the kid's got the mom. But when you go to work, who's gonna be with the kid? You can't leave him in a daycare. That'll fuck him up.
Yeah, no, dude. Kids that grow up in daycare, like full-time daycare, they grow up more maladjusted than a kid with like an abusive parent or a neglective parent. It's just as bad as a kid growing up with neglect.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing. You're neglecting your child. So,
and it sucks because like it's not you're doing it on purpose. You have to provide for him.
Yeah. It's terrible. At least one parent has to stay home. Source. Do not have one. If this was an intellectual, okay, it's just my opinion. If this was an intellectual,
sounds fake, but okay.
Sounds fake. Oh shit! Now, see, this is why I want to do Fantasies Philosophies, because I want to be able to have these talks and discussions and actually bring you the evidence. Like, I mean,
bring you sources.
I mean,
like that's just my opinion.
Since it's just us here, Lily, I probably could find you the source if you give me 5 minutes after the stream, and we could do it live. But I'd have to find it though.
And I don't know what to do with myself while you're looking for it.
Yeah. But, yeah. See, again, this is why I want to be. So, yeah, this is just my opinion. If you want to do the research and prove me wrong, go ahead and do it. Or prove me right, go ahead and do it. But this is not the time to show. It's you know, just my opinion.
Fantasies Philosophy.
That's why you got to subscribe to Fantasies Philosophies. Anyway, so, what's his name? Matsumoto comes back. Oh, okay. Matsumoto comes. Oh, yeah, okay, go. This is where we were. So, a long tangent. So, basically what they did was they captured him because he had a bounty. They didn't know that he was Faye's old lover. They capture him, bring him back, and then instead of Faye putting him up and trying to get the bounty money, she takes him away, and she sends him... she steals him from the coppers and is like, I need to find answers, yada yada, to our love, or whatever. Which is retarded. But she does. And I really just think she just wants, what was this? Oh, she claims that she has to pay off a debt. And then... But
she says she has to make herself...
Or he has to pay off the debt, or something like that.
If she had said it, she would have probably just have said it to make her sound, what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, and by the way, Lily, since we're all talking about sources, that source you gave me about sexual harassment in the workplace was complete shit. Just saying. Anyway.
Back to the anime.
So women, I mean, we're all friends. I love you, Lily. I'm just kidding, Lily. Lily. I'm just kidding. We love you, Lily.
You are my heart and soul. Joke's on you, I don't have one.
So, yeah, so that's pretty much that. So that's what happens in episode 15. So that's the story. You know?
Right.
It's kind of like, whatever. I mean, I gave the story 8 out of 10. Because I really enjoyed the story of these 5 episodes. I thought they were really good.
I give it a 7.5.
7.5.
7. Solid 7.
And then characters, not much here. We have that it's nice to see where Faye's past comes from, so that's pretty cool. The characters, again, were like average, like 6 out of 10.
I really like Vulture, or what's his name? Vicious? Vicious. Yeah. Vicious is cool.
So then we have music and audio, and there's that soothing jazz again, where we, on the surface, episode 12, Jupiter Jazz.
It's going down for me, man.
The music, you don't like it?
Yeah.
I love the jazz. I mean, I don't like listening to jazz on an enjoyable level, but I mean, it matches.
It could be the fact that we have different laws.
Well, however, the reason why, Lily, the biggest thing, I read through it all, and the biggest reason why your sexual harassment stats did not matter was because it based sexual harassment off of offense, and I find that offensive.
Because, you know, if you say you got offended by something, you could just get a pass.
And yeah, so that didn't work. And then it said that sexism was saying that one sex is inferior in a certain way than the other. And if that's the case, we're all sexist. And the example it gave was that women say it's sexist to say that women are more emotional than men, which they are. That's not sexist, that's biological. But if you want to call it sexist, then we disagree on what sexist means.
But, you know, what is biology these days? Because clearly nobody knows, and we're taking useless college courses on a subject that is made up for someone who has their feelings in a little tissy.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
But yeah, that was the main reason. It's just the definitions that everything was based off of what I disagreed with, which means I'd have to fundamentally disagree with how and it wasn't law either. It was like sexual harassment in the workplace. It wasn't law. It was just policy either. On top of that. So there was no actual, because the discussion was law. Like if I were to say, your booty looks good, girl, on the street, there was nothing in there saying that in itself is illegal unless it offended them. So if I said your booty is cute and they got offended, it'd be sexual harassment, and they could press charges in some way. But but that was only based off their offense. So what if I just said, "Oh, you have pretty eyes, lady"? Oh, sexual harassment, and also could be sexual based on the definition of sexual harassment and on sexism. So that's why I fundamentally disagreed with it. Just to answer your question and clarify, yes. So the art, I thought the dogfights were awesome. The rule surface cities looked cool, and Faye's butt. What a way to lead off of what I was just talking about.
Nice. It's not. It's okay because it's a fictional character.
Fictional characters don't get offended. They can't get raped either.
Oh my god.
So my enjoyableness. Oh well, I guess art 7.5. And then also overall enjoyment for the series was the story between Vicious and Gren was extremely compelling. Yet it had nothing to do with the main characters.
There's no Faye butt.
I forgot to put the S in there in the apostrophe or whatever.
Wow, you missed 2. I think that was not accidental.
Faye butt.
Faye butt.
Well, that was the overall. Enjoyment and thoughts of the anime. My ratings went up overall, so it was like pretty much averaged out like a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the story and the episodes, and the music was great. The art's always good, and the music
it kind of keeps the same amount of level.
Pretty much.
I would honestly, I feel like it's kind of going down. Maybe it's 5.5. Then again, I need to get more invested.
That's true. You're not invested, and you're skipping episodes, and you're like not engaged.
I am not.
So yeah, so we got 2 more episodes after this, 2 more streams after this. Episodes 16 and through 20, and then 20 through 26. We're probably gonna have to just cram in that last episode when you watch. And then we're gonna move on to the next anime, which I don't think I'm gonna do Kill la Kill. We're probably gonna do Wallflower or pick something gay, something really weird that sucks ass. That we can scream and complain about it because apparently that's what you guys like. Yeah. Also, since it's really only you here, Lily, that I was gonna ask people what they wanted to see next, but I think we're just gonna scrap that whole thing, you know? Because I don't know, we gotta watch what's good. Because if we watch what people suggest, then it sucks. And we watch what's good in a sucky way, then it's good. That makes sense? Oh. Yes, actually. I'm going to pretend that I comprehended and understand. Yes. Alright, so I'm going to answer Lily's question and see if I can try to find the statistics for that. For that thing. Which means that we're pretty much done. So if you're watching this on the archived version, back off. Thanks for watching. Afterthoughts are supposed to be every Wednesday. So we're supposed to do that. Other than that, we're going to a little bonus segment right here. And what I had in mind to do, I think I was going to do... I was going to change it to the Fantasies Philosophy border. Sounds like a good time. There we go, yeah. Welcome to Fantasy Philosophies! Livestream 2 coming on. No, let me just try to find this for her, and then we'll do this. So what was it? Some statistic. Oh yeah, the single parent thing. It's the one where it's the one where kids in daycare are affected in the same. They're affected just like they have neglect, and I don't get why. That's common sense. I feel like that's something that's kind of obvious because it's like, well, if you're not spending time with your parents, they are obviously neglecting you. So I feel like that's common sense stuff or stuff that logically follows. They might not even mean to. It could just be like, I don't know, they're too busy trying to be supportive for you because they are single and don't have time to spend. They don't have the time to spend. Not that they don't want to. It's just they don't have it. Okay. I don't understand people that are all. I guess I understand the ideology behind the people that try to empower the. I guess I don't know if empower is the right word, but motivate and empower the
single parents and stuff, like, oh, you can do it, you're so amazing by being a single parent. And it's like, yeah, that, like, they're taking it, and why it's so widely accepted is because they know they're doing a horrible job, and they feel depressed, and they feel like they're failing, and that's just a voice for them to, like, lie to them and be like, no, you're doing amazing, just what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality, they're really not. It's just to feel good. And I don't know, some people could take that motivation and use it for good things, but a lot of majority of the time, I don't know, people try to motivate me. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not motivated.
Right.
It feels good to hear, but I mean, how many percentages are you gonna, like, actually take that into effect? You don't know?
I wish I could try to follow you.
I feel like
I'm just here enjoying the ride.
I feel like I just spewed out my entire brain, and you just missed it. I'm so disappointed.
Let's see. This might be it. I don't know. Don't look at me.
I'm interested. I don't know what you want me to do, man. You know I'm addicted to looking at you in all the ways.
We're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. We're gonna have to find it ourselves. All right, let's see here. I don't even know where to look for this.
Still got the anime
Put
stuff
up
going
little
up.
show music right here.
Yeah, I still got the anime stuff going on, man.
Oh,
Not that that's a bad thing.
I don't know where I would even find
Lily
think-
Page
probably the CDC
says
probably.
it gave specific examples of sexual harassment, so it wouldn't count if they said something like, you have pretty eyes.
Well, wait, hold on. What? So it gave specific examples of sexual harassment, so it wouldn't count if you said. So you're saying that if the words are different from that specific example, it wouldn't count. So like, if it
That's
said
no
like,
longer freedom of speech.
if it said like, you have a sexy ass, that's sexual harassment. But if you have a sexy booty, that's all right. See where I'm going with that? Just because it's a different word, it still was defined as an offense, taking offense. Then Lily said, I feel like neglect and not being able to spend every waking moment with your child. Because the neglectful parents just aren't trying to be there, so I think. And the parents who need to work and such are trying really hard and treating their kids well, or as well as they can. No, but that doesn't matter, Lily, because if they may be at work trying to provide for the kids, they're treating the kids as well as they can, but the kid doesn't understand that. The kid doesn't know why they're not home. The kid doesn't know why they're not with them every minute of the day. They don't understand how work works. They don't understand money and salary and needing to be fed and stuff. So to them, it's like you just left for no reason.
This is true.
I can't find the original source that I did, so I have to research it to try to find it.
I mean, it kind of... Oh, am I allowed to say that? Violet Evergarden episode 10?
As bad spoilers, probably not. Maybe Lily's seen it.
Because, you know, in the mom's, like, writing the letters and stuff. And the kid's like, oh, like, you never spent time with me. And you're always busy writing these letters. Little did she know that it was for her own benefit. And she didn't have time to... She had to get it down, you know? I don't know if that qualifies for what we're talking about, but little children don't understand that doing something that benefits their future is beneficial to their future. They think they're just not spending time with you, right?
Right.
These kids don't know anything.
I can't make sense of this paragraph for some reason. But what I'm trying to get at, I'm going to read more, but this first paragraph says, physical aggression and antisocial behavior are among the most consistently documented childhood outcomes of physical child abuse. Most studies document physical aggression and antisocial behavior using parent or staff ratings. Other measures, such as child stories or observational measures across a wide variety of situations, including summer camps, and daycare settings. That's just saying that the kids in those situations, they're other studies indicate that neglect children may be more dysfunctional. Some studies indicate that physically abused children show higher levels of aggression than other maltreated children. Pressure study comparing preschool children classified. No, this isn't quite it. I'm trying to find the correlation between the two.
I know there was a video of Stefan Molyneux. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was talking to this one guy about child neglect and abuse, guys. And the guy, his dad. Oh no, it was about. Shit, actually, let me look it up so that I can remember and jump my memory.
I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. That had it. He usually puts links in it. I was gonna fact check his link.
Shoot. Yeah, it's the one your parents made a choice to abuse you, and the guy was saying that his dad.
Look in the description in there and see if they have any type of links that might help us find what we're looking for.
He was talking about like his dad would go into his study all the time because that's what he wanted to do, and he never spent time with his kid, and that's happening to him. Not breaking the cycle, you know.
So I'm gonna look at this. Okay, so developmental issues for young children in foster care.
Matrix
and then it has
destruction,
a.
that sounds interesting.
The abstract of the research paper is this. Let me actually bring up display capture. Yeah, here we go. All right, so this is the abstract of this paper here. Greater numbers of children with complicated, serious physical health, mental health, and developmental problems are entering foster care during the early years when brain growth is most active. Every effort should be made to make foster care a positive experience and a healing process for the child. Oh, wait, this is foster care. Hold up. This is foster care, not daycare. Never mind about that.
Wow.
I don't think we're stupid.
Doing it dumb. Damn it.
I'm looking for daycare. I mean, what is the technical term for daycare?
Technical term. Man, I don't know.
Meryl Frank is the expert on childcare. Who is Meryl Frank? All right, this is not definitive, but let's find out what he says. I guess for 5 years.
Supervision of and care for children.
Did you find a link? You didn't find.
I never found a
video?
link. He didn't have one.
Maybe he does on his website. Program to study parental leave. Okay, so for 5 years, she ran a Yale University program that studied parental leave. Frank went back to work part-time when her son Isaac was 5 months old, and the 2 years since then, she has changed childcare arrangements 9 times. Travels began with a well-regarded daycare center nearby suburban New Jersey home. Yada, yada, yada. That's what happens when a pro tries to get help. So begins the story of a special issue of Newsweek, and well, this better have some some nice citations of studies in it. Perfect world, there would be an abundance of intelligence, well-balanced, devoted individuals with a dream. There's no dream caretaker. There is little that even comes close. In real life, purchased care is rarely more than a stopgag. That's not my verdict. It's the verdict of parents themselves. Well, let's get down to the actual facts, yeah?
Yeah.
Instead of this anecdotal stuff. Daycare using parents make minor compromises. A million daycare as it is reality. There's no need for anyone to write a book on what children encounter in a typical daycare setting because a writer named Deborah Follows has already done that. Follows, a Radcliffe graduate, linguist, and former assistant dean of Georgetown University who was married to a U.S. News editor, James Follows, is not Charles Dickens, but in a mother's work she describes 1.5 years worth of close observation in a dozen of diverse daycare centers scattered across Maryland, Washington, D.C., Texas, and Massachusetts. While follows discovered no abuse, relatively little dirt, and adequate physical conditions in most centers, she nonetheless found the average child experience frighteningly empty. This was a fairly typical visit. And she goes into her visit.
I mean, I feel like it just kind of makes sense. It's like, you know, when you drop your kids off at school for the first time, they're like screaming and crying and they don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's like imagine the same thing but at daycare, and if you really don't like it,
yeah,
of course this could probably get a mess up later on.
I don't understand, like, that's your parents. You need your parents. There's no substitute for that. So
I feel like
I would think that daycare would ruin you.
Everyone's just a strong individual.
Because they don't have their moms with them or their dads with them saying, "Oh, good job, honey. Good job, dear. Good job,
you got
son."
someone else doing it. And you don't.
And then that's why they're all whining out to the government so much, is because they need a parent figure and they never had one. I'm just trying to find where's her summer? Well, important early childhood attachment. Ooh. Childhood attachment. That was one of my psychology things I studied actually. For 2 years, we watched daycare children respond to the stresses of 8 to 10 hours a day of separation from their parents with tears, anger, withdrawal, and profound sadness. The Dreskins write, and we found to our dismay that nothing in our own affection and caring for these children would erase this sense of loss and abandonment. They found themselves in a dilemma. The problem was not with our facility. It was obvious that there was a problem inherent in daycare itself, a problem that hung like a dark storm over good and bad daycare centers alike. The children were too young to be spending so much time away from their parents. They were like young birds being forced out of the nest and abandoned by their parents before they could fly, their wings undeveloped, unready to carry them out into the world. We were so distressed by our observations that Dreskins conclude that we closed the center. And then Lily says, but they need to connect with other kids. That's what school is for. That's what community is for. And, well, because, see, in school and community, your parents are with you. Your parents bring you to school, and they pick you up. And especially in a community, you have neighbors. Did we forget about neighbors already? We have people next door to us with kids.
Neighbors don't exist, man.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. That's the ironic point I'm trying to make. Is we need to build community back up, because if you send a kid off to daycare,
your neighborhood has kids. Like back in like the 70s, the 80s, like kids would know each other from like down the block.
Yeah,
I don't know my own. That's depressing. I don't know my own neighbors.
Neither do I. The need for your kid to connect to other kids, you shouldn't just shove them into a daycare expecting that to work. You're supposed to bring them to the park, have them play with other kids throwing a frisbee around with their dads and moms. That's how you get your kids to connect, because you need to be there. You need to be one call away from your child as much as you can. When they scream out mommy or daddy and you don't show up, that is going to fuck with them, especially if that is a continual process. Lily's getting mad here with some caps. Birds leave all the time to get food for the kids. Yes,
because they're birds.
Just think of the lobsters. Oh no. Yes, they do, Lily. But now, however, that was their analogy, not mine. But no, I agree with that analogy, though, with the birds being pushed out of the nest. But that's still different, though, because
when it comes to a certain point, like, of course you need to put your kids out of there.
Yeah, but with birds, when they push them out of the nest, that's like goodbye college. Like, you're off to work. That was not the best analogy for kids in a daycare. But you need that. That's why one parent staying home is the most efficient and most beneficial way to raise a child. And preferably it's the mom, because the mom has the breast milk, and women are more nurturing, and they're more caring, and they're more compassionate, which is why they make good servers. And that's why the service industry and the nursing industry is like 80% women, is because they tend to be more caring and compassionate. Whereas a kid falls and cries, like, get your ass off the floor, boy. That's what a dad would say, which is good for boys when they come to that age of like adolescence. But when you're talking about kids, like when they're growing, like they're toddlers up to like 6, 7 years old, you need that mom to be able to, when they get a boo-boo, to kiss it. Because we as men need that. And so do little girls. But the little girls, now I'm going to be saying more stuff that I'm going to have to source, but little girls tend to be more close to their fathers from the age until adolescence. And then they attach their mom, because their mom teaches them about sex and about looking sexy and attracting a man. Whereas it's the opposite with the boy,
Being
where
a
the
woman?
boy needs, being a woman, period stuff, all that. A man can't do that.
Mama's boys, the growing up a little mama's boy, love
Yeah.
the mom.
Yeah. And then
Then
the opposite with the boys.
Yeah,
the boys.
the dad needs to step in at a certain
Yeah,
point and be
you're-
like, this is how you be a man.
Yeah, and that's the most beneficial way. I don't care if you want to say that's so traditional and so oppressive. It's like, but that works. It works.
It's worked for the past, I don't know, ever.
Yeah, like if you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you don't want to participate in that, that's fine. Nobody's saying you should. Maybe some people are. Be honest with you. But I mean, like, you could live however the fuck you want to live. Numerous studies conducted in varied settings show clearly that the only way to build strong independence in children is to indulge their strong needs for dependence when they are very young. As Margaret Mead put it, we do not know, man has never known, how else to give a human being a sense of selfhood and identity, a sense of the worth of the world. The path to the sturdy self lies directly across the lap of mother and father. There is no other route. Parents who push their children out into the world before they are ready to do them will do them no favors. Blah, blah, blah. Human attachment research has demonstrated that the early relationship between infants and preschoolers and their parents is a foundation stone of all subsequent personality development. It has also shown that even very marginal parental care is better for a young child than institutional care. As John Bowlby, the only psychiatrist who has twice received the American Psychiatric Association's highest award, warned, a home must be very bad before it is bettered by a good institution. A home must be very bad before it is bettered by a good institution. What the fuck does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Then Lily presents a counter argument. But kids don't always have kids their age in their neighborhood. So if a kid 5 years younger than the rest only hangs with these other older kids, it's not good for them. Have you ever seen the documentary The Mask You Live In? It really shows how bad that traditional idea is. I would love to watch it.
That actually sounds very interesting.
Where can I watch it? On YouTube? The Mask We Live. Now I gotta put a note of that. See, this is gonna start this channel down a terrible path.
If you've only got like older people in your neighborhood, then school, I don't know, parks, other kids.
See, now the only
if you're a
point.
good parent, you're gonna take your kid to somewhere that they are comfortable and make friends with.
The only point that I'm trying to make, and I think you agree with me, James, is that you just don't want to neglect your child.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for parenting. That's all we're trying to say, is that if you put your kid through foster care, I mean, if he's there, like, I don't know, a few hours a day, like not long, then maybe that's okay or whatever. But he needs parents. He needs his own biological kin there to raise him and to take care of him, her, or whoever. Well, see, Lily, you asked me for sources, and I'm here scrubbing the internet. I at least found, I don't know, 2 psychiatrists or whatever. You keep chatting in the chat. You ain't giving us shit. Who made that? Who made the Netflix thing? I don't know. This article here, or whatever this is, was written, I say, at Karl Zinsmeister. You know he's good when they're German.
It's Karl Zinsmeister.
Karl Zinsmeister. And then, of course, that other dude, whatever.
The guy, yay.
In groundbreaking mid-50s research, Yale professor Sally Provenci and Rose Lipton examined infants who spent a considerable part of their first year in superior institutions. They found that these youngsters suffered incapacities in all areas of physical and mental development compared to home-reared children, and the deficits did not disappear when they were moved into homes. I've got a question for you, Lily. Have you been to daycare when you were little? I don't know. What if that's why you're trying to defend it so hard, is because your parents did it to you? But that's all assumption, because I have no idea.
Yeah, we don't want to psychoanalyze too much. However, I feel like people that are opposed to it don't really...
Now, because see, my argument would be that Lily, you just do not want to face the facts, and you're entrenched in your own ideas. However, I could say the same thing about us, because
we could very
that's where I...
Because,
actually, I
people are very partial to things that they've gone and been through themselves. Because, I've I've never been to daycare in a day in my life.
Something you said to bed. You mean daycare?
I've never been to daycare yet.
Neither have I. That's why I'm so perfect.
And that probably, I don't know. You could say we probably, what the hell? Peanut butter on lasagna. Now I'm distracted.
Nice going, Rubio. Retro Rubio. No, then Louis says, "Fuck, I don't know. I watched it in high school." Oh, high school. That liberal institution of communist professors and teachers.
To tear down the idea that men just be just men.
Now, see, Lily, you're not helping your case, because whenever I hear people trying to tear down the traditional patriarchy or tear down the traditional idea of biological men or whatever, it's like, now you kind of lost your argument with me, because you got to give me something better than that, because whenever I hear that, I just hear bad things after that. I don't know where else to look. I'm trying to see can I see? I'm trying to look for statistics, like a CDC statistic, maybe, like where kids that came from foster care grew up to be criminals or something. I don't know. Let's look. This is CDC daycare. Let's just put in daycare.
I can understand that point of view that Lily says. She says, I went to preschool. Wow. But I had abusive parents, so I was always glad to spend 8 hours away from them. That makes sense. That's probably why a lot of people are partial to daycare, is because, you have a shitty parent.
Super Saiyan God. I think you've been here before. Have we seen you before, Super Saiyan? Well, welcome. This is the after stream. We're
you
not
missed
even.
It.
Yeah, you missed it.
Fuck.
We're not even talking about the anime anymore. We're just we're having a lovely discussion with Lily right now.
We're communicating.
I think it's productive, actually.
We're
we're learning things from both
it.
sides. We all need to remember how when you're presented with facts that you disagree with, you become more entrenched in your own ideas. And I'm trying not to do that. And I hope I'm not, but So it's very a possibility from both sides that we're just never gonna understand the other side.
I mean, at least it's entertaining to watch.
But
Hopefully.
I mean, Lily, if your parents were abusive, and that's awful, but I hope you're not conflating, assuming that other people are abused, and that's why they need preschool. Because what if they had a wonderful home and they weren't abused? Daycare then would be not a good decision.
I feel like it just all falls back onto the responsibility of the parents. If you can't treat if you're not prepared to just choose to not treat your children right, then you shouldn't be a parent.
Right.
But
damn, Super Saiyan. Yeah, YouTube doesn't notify anybody. It has no idea. It has no idea that we exist. What I think YouTube is doing, just on a quick note, I don't think that it has anything to do with censorship. Well, it does, but I don't think they're censoring like certain people to an extreme extent. I just think it's everything. Like, you'll see everybody being censored just because it's their algorithms now. They don't want to spam you with things, so they don't let you know when things are active, which is stupid, because if you're subscribed to somebody, you want every single notification, and then they don't do it. And I don't know why that is. I think it's so they can curate what gets brought to your attention better, which I don't know if that's a censorship thing necessarily. I just know that it's not good. Child Development Center. Oh.
What?
Okay, top daycare childhood learning centers. Information of schools and daycare providers, CDC foundations, Child Development and Care, Michigan.gov.
I think YouTube's just retarded.
Yeah, it is. And there's nothing else right now because it costs so much money to start up a video sharing platform now with all the DMCA laws out there and regulations.
What did Kraken saying?
Kraken?
No, it's so kids like me, but they still want to see. See me, he, she, be.
Retro, I go boys, girls club, but I go there and my mom calls it a daycare. Oh, well, same thing. Wait, what? Wait, what? What? You currently go to one? I hit the notification bell and sometimes it doesn't work. No, yeah. So, yeah, you just guys got to just set an alarm or something because, we do this every Monday at 6 o'clock, so. Well, Pacific time, whatever. I'm trying to find. This is what I'm doing, guys. I'll say this again because I said it 5 minutes ago. I'm trying to find a good source to show kids growing up with what's it called, mental health issues or mental deficiencies that are raised primarily in day. Like I want to see a chart that says like hours in daycare to like maladaptation to adult life, or
Tell
like
you what,
I'm
not entirely sure if that even exists, so why not do it yourself?
Oh, 6 p.m. Sorry, Retro. 6 p.m. What'd you say, James?
I said I'm not entirely sure if that exists,
Probably doesn't.
so just make one.
Because it also could be like the way that I'm searching could give me faltered results. Because if I'm typing in daycare as bad as child abuse, of course I'm gonna find links like that. Or how about let's type in daycare just as good as, or daycare not
Bad.
not bad.
Affordable daycare. Oh yeah.
8 signs of a bad daycare.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no.
Sorry.
Sorry, working moms. Daycare is bad for your kids.
Damn it! It doesn't work. But that's Huffington Post, though. Huffington Post is far left acting. The way they say about the right, far right Nazis, the far left communists,
The deep left.
So I typed in here. So we got daycare not bad for kids, and then I got sorry moms, daycare is bad for your kids. Once again, the liberal media are guilty of poor and biased reporting in their bid to pat working mothers on the back. Wait, Huffington Post, though? I thought they were liberal. I don't know. Whenever a study comes out that seems to favor working mothers over stay-at-homes, blah, blah, blah. Is non-parental daycare bad for children? Hey, they just put a question. That wasn't even biased.
There's
Psychology Today, you know what? I've seen both leftists. Sorry, I saw that spit fly on you. Oh my god.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to react.
Lily says about the mask you live in explores how our culture's narrow definition of masculinity is harming our boys, men, and society at large, and unveils what we can do about it. That's the description.
What?
Narrow definition of masculinity.
Maybe. Retro, maybe.
Man, dude. Oh, retro? I know because it's 9 p.m. Central and that's 1 hour after your time. People give their kids tablets and phones so they don't have a parent. Do you live in California,
That
Mocha?
fucks
I do.
your kid up.
Yeah.
Like, not even that you don't have to be at. Not even like you're not. It's not that you're not at home. It's just their brain is vegetating by watching garbage.
And it ruins your
garbage.
Your recent memory. What is it called?
Yeah, you develop ADHD and ADD so bad. You
Yeah.
can't pay attention to anything. Your just attention span is like that. It's so bad.
Right. I'm just still focusing on the description of that video. Explores how our culture's narrow definition. Now, who says it's narrow? What does that even mean? Narrow.
Well,
Just narrow. Narrow as in men do not have vaginas? Oof. That may be a little narrow. No, that was a little straw man there for you. But no, I mean oof.
I feel like I've almost got ADD. Cause
I don't know if you
that
do.
fucking Instagram and Vine compilations I used to watch.
I used to watch Vine compilations too. But is non-parenting daycare bad for your children? Is non-daycare bad for children? Development sciences have been wrestling with this question for decades without reaching any conclusion. Studies continually come up in inconsistent and conflicting results. For example, studies have linked daycare to children behavior problems and failed to find a link or found that daycare is linked to reduction in such problems. Regarding cognitive development, studies have found negative effects, no significant links, and positive daycare effects. Research has shown that daycare hinders the quality of... Okay, it's just saying back and forth. Scientists like to think that they can prove useful answers in society-pressing questions, but the truth is some questions simply can't be answered definitively by science. The question about the effects of daycare may be one of those. Hey, well, at least you found an article that's like doesn't agree with either of us, Lily. Found someone that's like in the middle.
Those
First-
are usually the best opinions.
Oh, yeah. Second, okay, so let's just read the first sentence. First, a social scientist studying a social institution. Daycare researchers face inherent challenges. Social change which is often rapid and unpredictable, works to continuously shift in terrain that daycare's researchers study. Second, the daycare question exists within a particular socio-political context, a world of conflicting and shifting social and parental ideas, fear, myth, and expectations. For example, research has found that children who averaged 45 hours a week in daycare during the first 54 months scored about 3 points higher than the mean on a measure of behavioral problems. Science, it turns out, has no inherently superior claim on knowing how its findings should be framed. In fact, there are always conflicts on how to present and view scientific findings. In the real world, parents and policymakers apply their own idiosyncratic interpretive schemes as they seek to assign a clear but meaning to nuanced and ambiguous research findings. You know what this tells me? Fuck the government. And fuck central planning, because y'all don't know what the fuck you're doing. There's no way you can predict how the economy and how social interactions are going to be 10 years from now. How can you make laws and policies that are going to benefit everybody if you don't even understand what the main problem is? So less laws, please. Let us figure it out as the days come in our own local community.
I mean, that's what we did back then, right? We figured it out, and we found out it fucked us over. So somebody didn't know how to handle it. They were just, let the government take care of it, because we don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle it either. Just let us either crash and burn or figure out a way to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it's going to be beneficial, because if we do crash and burn, we'll be like, okay, that's bad. How about we try something else? And then you just keep repeating the process until you find something that works.
I'm slowly following along with you, but, you know, they know. The calculus becomes even more problematic when we have to consider multiple determinants of varying importance. You know what? This article is basically just saying it's too hard to tell. That's basically the gist of that. Let me catch up here. What is this? Lily says, my brother has bad eyesight because he sat in the dark watching Naruto for hours. I heard that actually watching these in the dark, this whole stream, I was heard that one time. I don't have a source of that either.
Somewhere like 5 years ago.
Oh, you know what? I think it was my own optometrist told me that actually looking, you just rest your eyes every once in a while. If you stare at a screen, something close hurts your eyes, but like watching a screen in the dark doesn't hurt your eyes as long as you like look away every few minutes to readjust. Which I guess
I feel like that works out your pupils.
We set women on fire for being witches.
Wait, what? What is that?
Wait, referring to what? I mean, context to what? What do you mean? And yes, we set women on fire because they bitches. Nah.
Oh shit. Whoa.
We set women on fire because we had religious zealots who fucking go around killing people because they're hot. Like the Muslims. Dude, we still got people burning witches, but they ain't witches, they Christians in the Middle East. And they are Puritans, they Muslim. Still got that going on here. Let's go take care of that.
The Middle East.
Dude, we
don't need any feminism here. We need it over there.
Dude, we still got blacks going into slavery.
Yes.
Let's go protest over there.
The problem isn't here. The problem's over there.
You point at me.
Where you come from.
My people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh geez. See, that's our Lily right there. You don't even deserve. Well, see, if you come at humanity from the point of view that we don't even deserve to exist, I believe you're going to find problems everywhere you look. But that's a matter of perspective. But no, mankind is pretty shitty, I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
I was in the other room and I came back and calculus.
Calculus.
Where's the MFTCG?
What's that?
Where can I buy the shirts? Oh, I'll tell you what.
If you want to buy a shirt, I'll make it.
Hey, just donate $50 to my PayPal. I'll make you one for free. Just don't think about it.
That's how you get idiots to give you free money.
Did you hear about that one girl? Fuck, it's one of the popular ones, not Kim Kardashian, but one of those.
One of those
They're
Kardashians.
donating her money so she can be the youngest female billionaire. They're just donating her money because you want to see her be the first. It's funny. Oh, the trading card game! I completely forgot about that. The trading card game would have been a good idea. Maybe we'll roll that out later, but it's too hot right now to think about anything.
This is true.
What
were we talking about?
We were trying to find a good link for the daycare thing, which
I feel like we've exhausted it.
We have. It's just I want to give Lily the sources she wants, which I guess I've given her.
We showed
sources.
her the screen.
Yeah.
Fucking
Lily, you got your sources, okay? You got them.
They're on the internet. I know it's vague. Dude, Jordan
Cenk
solid.
As Cenk Uygur would say, Google it. Just Google it. Oof.
Outrage culture. It really is what we've devolved into, is an outraged culture.
The last gasp of outrage culture. Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna just leave over here.
Don't tell your problems to people. Football legend Lowell Holtz once declared 80% don't care and the other 20% are glad you have them. That's rather harsh, I suppose. I'm sure you'd love to hear about the rogue fire hydrant that leapt in front of my car as I blamelessly tried to park at a local Chewy's last month, but it's probably also not too far from the truth.
What?
What the fuck is happening? There is not one mention of daycare in that whole article. We've been bamboozled.
I hate you.
What are the 12 rules for life? Nah, profound silence.
I feel like it's kind of I don't know. I feel like it's kind of.
You know, guys.
Oh, it just scared me. I feel like it's kind of a topic that has no set to either way.
It doesn't.
It's just opinional. There's no set. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, it's bad. You know.
Know about little on the paranoid stuff. Fair bit of
This is an
worry.
old video.
And she'd keep this up for a good length of time, and then the police would go out and they'd start to interview other. The police would ask leading three. You know, they can hardly organize their story. Very responsive.
Where's the daycare coming
to the
in?
non-verbal and verbal, 15, 20 kids, and they do it a lot. They use little dolls, and they do it a lot, and they do it a lot, and they do it a lot. And sooner or later,
Watch, we're gonna get like tagged, flagged, and taken down because we're trying to show something.
Terrible things happen, like they're taken into underground caverns and they're stripped naked and they're forced to like leapfrog.
I like where this is going.
You can't believe it. What happened? You can't believe it. It's all documented in a book called Satan's Silence, which was written by a social worker and a lawyer. It's mind-boggling. The longest prison sentences in American history were handed out to a series of middle-aged women who were taking care of little kids, and the FBI even came up with a whole new criminal category.
This is about the 80s scandal, isn't it?
But once all these accusations...
80s scandal, was that?
The daycare 80s scandal. I saw it in another link.
What is it?
I don't know. He's explaining it.
And this affected thousands of people. The eventual conclusions was, well, there actually isn't anybody who's, satanically torturing children in daycare centers. Now, anyways, why am I telling you this? These are good ideas. First of all, we should note that children are not stupid. And they can also dream up the most horrible things, because they have an imagination.
It's getting real musty in here.
It is.
Because there are monsters in the darkness, even though your parents might tell you there aren't. Stupid. Now, so then the adults start to question them. And the kids are, the back of their brain, the little imaginative part is thinking, what do these people want? What do these people want? What do these people want? And so they'll throw them out a little bit of information, such a thing, while the cop will perk up.
Yeah, that's not getting what we need here now. Ah! Good to see all my links right there. That was not bueno. Let's see. Yeah, Lily, I could barely hear too. I had it turned down real
I have
low.
no idea.
Let's see. We should say when I'm not so aggressive. Wait, what'd you say?
You're fine.
Wait. Maybe get some money. Couldn't do anything solid, you idiot. We should do this a day when I'm not so aggressive. Try looking not so aggressive. What are you talking about? You're fine. See.
What?
Women are less disagreeable than men. You're fine. You're fine, Lily. You can be as disagreeable as you want. Those are the little imagining parts. So wait.
In my day, those were called even stupid parts.
Daycare and ability to function in society may give you better results. Daycare and ability to function in society. All right, folks. Chapter 16: Education introducing to sociology. Blah blah blah. Intergenerational daycare. How do we deal with daycare? Why isn't the screen going? Intergenerational daycare. How do we deal with daycare across generations?
I don't care.
I don't think this is.
I don't know, man. I feel like it just all inevitably boils down to the upbringing of the child, the way the parents feel about the child, and what they want to do. And it just depends on whether you're a good parent, whether you're a bad parent. Throw them in there. If you want to keep them home, it's up to the parent. You can't control the parent, whether they do good or bad. And it's unfortunate, but it's kind of out of control. Because
I've just opened up another Pandora's box.
Oh my god. Because parents they either become what their parents were, or they do the complete opposite. And then those children either become like their parents or do the complete opposite.
Yeah, see, this requires a lot of research that you can't do on live. Richard said, Mocha, I'm going up from my location in South Dakota to Florida to Texas to California to Vancouver, Washington, where I'm going to live. Do you mind if I take you out to some Olive Garden? No, Retro.
I want some Olive
I thought
Garden.
Retro was 11. 12? I don't know.
I want some Olive Garden.
Well, Retro, take him to Olive Garden.
Have a good time.
You can if you want me to have Olive Garden, donate me money that I can afford a meal at Olive Garden. I will live stream it, and we'll live stream, and you can watch it. I'll be like, we're dining out together.
There you go.
Alright, so I'm just going to end the stream now because I did my best to provide you with the source, and I have not changed my mind. And it's okay that you haven't changed yours. I like what you said, that it's kind of just up to the parents. If your parents are shitty people, you will be fucked. And if your parents are good parents,
you won't be fucked.
They're probably going to stay home with you, and they're going to love you, and they're going to take care of you. That's just the way it is. Q&A, Retro, what do you think you've been doing for the last hour? Alright, guys. TFG.
What's that?
Don't even remember
the fucking guy.
The figure game.
Trading figure game.
Yeah, that's just too much work. No, I'm just kidding. We're coasting right now because it's so hot. And life sucks so much.
Life sucks. Big black butthole.
Peace out, dudes. Oh, whoops.
That was something you wanted me to remember.
No, it was the daycare thing. Wow, I asked you to remember something for me. You didn't even remember.
I was hoping that.
Just like a James. No.